so we're back visiting Gary today. Hey, Gary.
Hey, how you doing? Not that I care, but how are you?
Boy, he's kind, isn't he? This is the guy who still hasn't paid me a cheeseburger even.
Yeah, I know. I'll get you a White Castle one of these days.
Oh my goodness.
You don't have to chew them, they just slide right down.
So what am I here doing for you for free today?
Well, whether or not it's free, I don't know, but that'll cost me in the long run, I'm sure. But we have an annual, we'll be polite and call it a debate at our house about the leaves, and my wife Debbie says we need to get out there and rake them up, so we usually chop them up with a lawnmower and then stuff them in a trash can and haul them away. And I tell her that we don't really need to do anything because God will blow them away for free, but I don't get very far with that because he kind of blows them up where you don't want them.
Yeah.
So as I understand, you have an interesting piece of equipment here that'll take care of that problem for us.
Yep, we brought a vacuum out today, and Christy's going to get them sucked right up while you and I go in and watch football.
Okay, the Lone Ranger's on right now.
The Lone Ranger? Well, maybe I'll stay out here then, because that doesn't really sound that interesting.
Oh, it is, it is. you get hooked on that and you won't watch anything else. Him and Tonto, you know. Kemosabe and all that.
Okay, well, let's get started. Guess my ROPS got into a tree. Looks like I'm trying to camouflage myself here and drive around looking like a pine tree. At this point early on, I wasn't sensitized to just how many leaves we were actually picking up. You can see I'm starting to squirt them out there to the right. Well, I had a full load and didn't even know it. Trying to figure out how to spread them gracefully. I never got proficient at this, but I kept trying and practicing to see if I could get better. This hopper holds 20 bushels, and yet it seemed like I had to dump every little bit. It would have taken a long time if I'd had to get off the tractor or had one of those tiny little hoppers. The TKV20 has a little battery-powered fill sensor. Couple things. My battery was dead because I forgot to take it in and charge it. It's USB charged. The other thing is that either it doesn't work very well for me or I can't hear it. It's very noisy on the tractor, and of course I've got my hearing protection in too, so I never hear it when it's beeping, assuming it does beep. So I just use the tried and true method here of watching the boot. If nothing's being shot out to the right of that boot, then it's not yet full. Of course, sometimes I try to push it. You can see it's squirting stuff out to the right here, and I'm still going. I just had one more strip. I didn't want to have to come back to this area just to get that little bit. So I kind of stuffed it in there. So what do you think of this thing, Gary?
Well, I'm serious when I say I'm impressed.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really am. I didn't know what kind of a job it was going to do. And my goodness, look at that. It looks like you've had a big vacuum cleaner out here and it sucked up every one of them.
Well, it is a big vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. I tell you what, tomorrow they come and get our trash And why don't I just dump all that out here and you can suck it up and I won't have to mess with taking it out to the road.
Then I can scatter it in the neighbor's field?
Well, yeah, he ain't looking. I got his permission to dump it out here.
Your trash too, probably.
Well, not the trash. So,
okay.
No, I'm seriously. And who makes this thing?
It's made by a company named King.
Where are they located?
Pennsylvania.
Well, I'm impressed by it. It does the job.
It's easy to attach to the tractor, and it's you never have to get off the seat. You can open the gate and shut the gate right here from the tractor seat.
And it's all driven by a PTO, so there's no engine to maintain.
Right.
Appreciate you coming over and helping out.
It's a fairly simple design, actually. I mean, it's got the fan built in back there. It's easy. By being easy to unattach, all I have to do is it's got a wheel kit, so I set it down on my concrete and unhitch it, and then unhook the big hose here to the side.
Do they make smaller versions?
They make the ones that are made by John Deere. So so there's several, I think, sizes within that range. This one's a little different than the John Deere one just because of where the fan's located.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's kind of the same.
Yeah. Well, I'm impressed by it. They got a good product, and you can just see by comparing the leaves yet to be done, hint, not all the way yet, and this over here is
yeah. I got a few right here I need to see if I can get.
Yeah, there's some gravel in there, but you'll see that.
Okay, well, I better get back to it. I'm not getting anything done standing here talking to you.
That's all right. There's some heavy pine material back here.
Oh, you want to try that?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. It'll be interesting.
Oh, I can. Come on, let's try that right now.
Okay, let's get her done. It's heavy stuff. That's a white pine tree there, and a willow. And we like the white pines, but they do shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won't be able to get very close to that willow.
I think my hopper may have been full here already. I had picked up one pile. Sometimes it's hard to estimate, how far I can go before it gets full. And in this case, I hadn't covered a very big area, but I had dealt with some big piles of leaves. I often try to relay some of the thoughts that I'm having while I'm driving. You know what it's like. If you mow your yard, you have all kinds of different things that you're thinking about. Here I was just thinking about the versatility of the 1025R. It was a joy to do this job with this tractor. So much so that I actually forgot to offer Christy the chance. I know she enjoys experiencing the cleanup effect of leaf pickup, and, well, I was enjoying it so much myself that I failed to offer her the opportunity until I was almost done. Anyway, this machine is big enough to handle that big hopper, small enough to be able to navigate most of the areas of Gary's yard, big enough to be able to go out across the rough bean field. There were some fairly good-sized ruts there. The hopper sticks quite a ways back from the tractor. You have to be careful. I don't want to break another mirror. It cost me $1,600 to fix the last one. Christy and I both noticed these huge pine cones. We decided to experiment with them and see if we could get them picked up. The only ones I couldn't get were the ones that I drove over. I'd mash them down into the muddy yard and then the mower wouldn't suck them up. But we could get most of them. And one thing I noticed was that we never even heard them hitting that fan. The TKV20 sucked them right up without even coughing. Oops, looks like I'm full again. Now, it had been raining 5 out of the last 7 days. This was the first sunny day we'd had in about a week. We waited till early afternoon, or you might say mid-afternoon with the daylight savings time, trying to catch the leaves when they were the driest. This particular morning there was a huge amount of frost, and it was wet way late in the morning. I don't think it was full here. I think there was a small wad right there in the boot or something. Notice, there it goes. It's gone now. If you remember back to our Kubota BX comparison, one of the items we tested was the turning radius. I was kind of surprised we didn't get more comments on that test, because in an application like this, I find the turning radius to be incredibly important. The boot and hose extends outward to the right a good bit. That makes it a bit more difficult to get through tight spaces. Still, I'm glad it's just the boot and hose and not the actual fan motor right down there next to the deck. We'll see what that does to my self-sharpening mower blades. Here it is again, mowing around one of those trees. I want a mower that'll turn as tight as possible. We found the uncut circle diameter to be 78 inches on the BX versus about 50 inches on the Deere. You can check that out for yourself. It's in round number 3 of the Kubota BX versus 1025R series. As I mentioned, it had rained quite a lot, 5 out of the last 7 days before this. This made it a good test for the new Carlisle VersaTurf rear tires. Still haven't got the VersaTurf fronts, although I'm expecting them any day now. I do think we noticed a bit less markup of the yard than with an R4. The tire would sink into the tread, but you wouldn't see those pointed marks out at the tire's edge nearly as dramatically as you did with the R4s. I'm thinking I may start running one side of each. One side with the VersaTurf and one side with the R4s. While it'll look a bit odd, I think it might be the best test. Direct comparison of the two tires. That looks nice, doesn't it? We'll probably get some questions about how fast I could drive. Along this road to the right, I went full speed in low range. That should be about 4 miles per hour. It seemed to work just as well at that speed as it did at slower speeds. So I never really pushed it hard enough to test the maximum speed. Did you see the apples? I couldn't tell for sure if I was picking them up. There seemed to be less after I would go over it, but it's hard to really tell. This was quite a relaxing and satisfying job. It was nice that we had a place to dump the leaves. Of course, I could have backed up into the ultimate dump trailer and put them in there, but I'm not sure if I could have got them all into one load. And without the loader on the tractor, I'm not sure how I could have got a full load. Anyway, we didn't have to worry about that, and that made the job easy and kind of fun. Gary has about 1.5 acres of yard, and I suspect we did this in 1.5 hours. And that includes our teasing and kibitzing and otherwise horsing around.
Well, I guess we're done. I'm ready for a cheeseburger.
Well, the timing is perfect. Look what I got you. I got one for me and one for Christy. I thought you might want to smell them while we eat them. And Christy, want one of them?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
I actually was wondering.
I'll let you have this one. In fact, I'll let you have the other one if you want it. I only got 3, you know.
Well, yeah, you'd hate to overdo it.
I know it. Well, it's pretty near $3.
For 3 sliders?
$2.98.
The pickle
Oh,
is the same thickness as the burger.
yeah, and it's big around too.
I think this is my 2nd or 3rd slider of my entire life.
Really? Well, here you can have.
Probably me too.
Oh, I'm not eating that one.
No, Christy, you can have it.
No, that's okay.
All right, well, I'll eat it, I guess. I paid for it. I might as well eat it.
This is the first actual cheeseburger I've ever received on a job. What do you think, Christy?
That's first class.
Well, I don't know about first class.
White Castle.
Well, all your other clients now will get mad at me because I fed you a cheeseburger, and they're not too bad, really. Depends on how hungry you are.
I'd be pretty hungry.
Yeah, I like them.
So are you happy with your yard?
Very happy. Not because I'm supposed to say this, but the honest truth is it's far more than I thought it would do. It's beautiful. Those guys in Pennsylvania have got a good product.
I'm continue to be impressed with it. I really was surprised how well it did. You know, it was a lot of trips. I don't know for sure if I was totally full. The battery was dead on my sensor. So I don't know for sure if every time I went out there I was totally full, but I also didn't keep track. What was it? 20 trips probably we made out there. I mean, it was a bunch.
Well, a lot more leaves than I thought there were.
But it's nice. I didn't have to get off the tractor. I just opened up the gate and go right on.
I was impressed there one time because you started sweeping up again and forgot to close the gate and you were shooting right through it back on the yard again.
You know, that's interesting. I learned something there.
That you're supposed to close the gate before you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned 2 things there.
Let's hear it.
The first one is that I ought to close the gate.
Yeah.
But the second one is that if you run them through the machine once and let them fall back out on the ground like that, they've shredded them some.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could actually run through it with the gate open and then run over it a second time, and you'd have a lot less leaves to pick up.
Yeah, well, I noticed when I was out there kicking them around, I'm going to probably level that out for my neighbor. I'm sure he would appreciate that. That, you know, they've been run through the lawnmower and they're all chopped up. That's an advantage in composting.
Yeah, yeah. But it was amazing that second where I did leave it open, I went back through it. There wasn't near as much bulk to pick up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting thing that I hadn't learned before. So
Well-
I'm thinking maybe you need to go in. Debbie's not here right now, right?
That's right. We can say what we want to say.
I think you need to go in and get some ice and put on your shoulders,
Oh, is that right?
lay back in the couch,
Yeah.
and just tell her how much work you've
Yeah, well,
gone to today.
I've already let the cat out of the bag.
Uh-oh.
I told you you were here and I sent her pictures.
Well, here, she can have this.
Well, I'll let her smell it. Chrissy's going to keep hers as a souvenir.
Yeah.
You don't get these very often.
Hey, this has been a lot of fun, Gary. We always enjoy having you along for our episodes.
Well, I enjoy being here. It's good to have friends.
Yeah, it is great to have friends. It means a lot. Thanks for watching, everybody. Speaking of friends, we'll see you next time. on Tractor Time with Tim.